Assalamu alaikum, guys. I wanted to talk about how I became Muslim, and I've been debating whether to make this video or not. I don't know how people are going to respond to it. I feel like it's a long story, like it might be confusing, so I've just been fighting back and forth whether to make it or not. So I finally asked my husband what he thought, and he thought it would be a good idea. Here I am making this video. So to start off, I wanted to talk about how I first became introduced to Islam. So I'm originally from Colombia, South America. Whenever I was 8 years old, my parents moved here to America. And for a while, we lived in New Jersey. That was like a quick phase of our lives. And eventually, we decided to move here to the South, where we live now. And when we first moved here, I was trying to learn English and adapt to being in this environment. We were raised in a Catholic home, my brother and I, and we'd go to church regularly, and we went to Catholic private schools in Colombia, so we're very accustomed to that lifestyle of having your religion. Anyway, we moved here, we went to public school, and everything was fine. I was learning English. At this time, I was about 10 years old now, and the ESL program at the school, which is English as a Second Language, hosted a summer program called Splash. So the summer program was only for foreign students, and me being a foreign student and my brother also, we attended this program, and it was a summer camp, and it was a lot of fun. But this summer camp, I made my first best friend, and she happened to be Muslim, and that's how I got introduced to Islam for the first time. I wasn't introduced to it in an aspect of like everything in depth or anything. I was just introduced to the religion for the first time, like, hey, I'm Muslim, like we wear headscarves kind of thing, like just like very basic. And that was it. Like, I was only 10. I didn't ask more questions. I didn't care to ask more questions. I'm just a kid. I just wanted to play. So I lost contact with my best friend for the summer, and I was devastated because she was such a nice person, and I still think about her sometimes. But I'd never meet someone like her again. So that was that, and it was over. Once that summer was over, my parents decided to move to a different part of the city. And when we did, my first day of school, I was introduced to another Muslim girl, and I was now in 5th grade. So I was either 10 or 11 years old still, and she became my closest friend. And I still know her to this day. For years and years, we were close. She was my best friend. And with her being Muslim, I grew up from the age of 10 to, later on in life. I grew up around her in her household. Like, I was always at her house. I always saw her, her sisters and everybody praying. So it was something natural in a sense of I wasn't taking a second look and being like, who are these people? What are they doing? Just because I was exposed to it at such an early age. So although I was exposed to this, I asked little questions. Like, I knew that they believed in Jesus, peace be upon him, and just small things, like not too much in depth about the religion, but just about modesty. And I was a kid, so I didn't ask too many questions. And through her, I met another Muslim girl. We were all good friends, and I guess that just went on middle school, like elementary school. And then when I got into high school, I'm still friends with the same girl in high school. We're still with the same two girls. We're all really good friends. And at some point, my 9th grade year, I met this Muslim boy. And I met him in my French class. Didn't know he was Muslim. I just met him. He was a friend, everything, I saw him in class sometimes, and that was as far as it went. And The school year was over and he graduated. I was in 9th grade, he was in 12th grade, and he graduated, but we still had mutual friends and stuff like that, so I would see him during the summer break, and I got to know him more like that. And eventually he moved to Saudi Arabia for a little while, and didn't talk to him much. And then he got back during a December of, I think, 2012. Yeah, 2012, December 2012. He talked to me, told me he was back from Saudi. I was like, okay. So we hung out, and through him I started liking him, and more questions arose in me of what is Islam. He never spoke to me about it. Like, he was never pushing it to me. He would tell me he was Muslim, and that was it. He was never like, oh, trying to convert me or anything like that. So me having my best friend at the time, she was Muslim, I would go to her, ask her questions and stuff like that, and slowly I just became more and more interested each time. And the more I learned, the more I liked this religion, and the more I liked it, the more, I was like, what am I doing? I mean, at this point I was 16 years old, and I felt different just in the aspect of that I'm 16 years old. I'm exploring this new thing, but it wasn't so new because I already knew it from growing up around my best friend. But now I'm seeing it, and everything's making sense, because around this time also I was going through a debate in my head where I was like, oh, I don't know if God is real. I don't know. What I've been learning my whole life, if it's true, Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit and all of this one, and nothing ever made sense. I went to a Christian youth group and everything like that, and it just, nothing ever made sense. But Islam made sense in a sense where it was just clear and laid out for you. It was just so beautiful and clear to me that I just wanted to learn more. So eventually one day I went, I'd gone to the mosque a few times with my my other friend that was Muslim, and then she had taken me for Eid and just Jummah prayer, and it was summertime, so her family went a lot, and we went together, and it was just fun. And during one of those days after Jummah, I believe it was, I was talking to this lady at the mosque, and she told me, she was like, I've seen you here around, and what do you think about Islam? And I told her, I was like, it makes sense to me. I like this, and it's answers to my questions. And she said, I'm just worried about you because you seem like a good person, and I just worry, pretty much you believe in Islam, but you have been taking your shahada. What if you get in the car and you just die and you're not Muslim, but you're believing in it now, and you die non-Muslim? And in that moment, something clicked in my head, and I was like, she's right. What am I waiting on? I have the belief in me. I've accepted it in my heart already. I love the religion. So why am I not Muslim yet? Why haven't I taken my shahada? This was going through my head. So immediately I was like, okay. I was like, I'll do it right now. There was nothing. I have no excuse for not taking my shahada right now. So they made arrangements right away with the sheikh. And 15 minutes later, we were in the musalla, and I was taking my shahada. And it was a very beautiful moment. So during this time, I had, still been talking to my guy friend that was Muslim. I texted him, I was like, yeah, I just took my shahada and all this stuff. And he was surprised, and, that I had done this. And so during this process, we had, developed feelings for each other, and we had talked about it. And at this point we were like, okay, well, he was 18 at the time, I was 16 at the time. We were like, why don't we just get married? Like, that way, you know, we're in a halal relationship and, you know, we're husband and wife. And honestly, if I'm not wrong, it was my idea at first. And we just, like, we had been maybe like talking for maybe like 5 months or less whenever this happened. And we made arrangements and everything, and we got married a few months later. But that's beside the point of my reverse story. But the point of this story is, aside of all the confusion, I don't know if I just confused you guys, of all these friends that I had, and, you know, all of this stuff. The point of the story is that I know Allah loves me, and I'm grateful to be brought to this religion, and that Allah opened my heart to this, because a lot of people aren't this lucky to be coming from being lost into finding something they truly love like this. And I'm happy that my heart is filled in a way that no other thing could have done before. And lucky, and I thank Allah that, you know, I'm Muslim almost every single day. It's amazing, and I'm just happy, and I know it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And it wasn't completely easy, especially with like having a non-Muslim family and putting on hijab and all of these things. But my family, my mom especially has been very accepting, and I love them so much for that, because I know reverts that don't get the same treatment from their parents, and I'm beyond lucky in all sorts of ways that I could not even imagine. That I still have my family, that I have my religion with me, that I have so many beautiful friendships with so many people now because of this religion. It's beyond amazing, and I just hope that anybody that is looking for something different or feels religion, that you look into this, that it's actual. It will fill your heart. I don't know how to explain it other than that, and it will make sense. There's not a single moment in my journey now. I am 22 years old, and I converted when I was 16. So that is 6 years that I haven't been confused at all during anything about my religion. And all my questions that I've ever had have been answered. And not only are they answered, but there is a hadith, a narration. There's something to back it up. It's not just someone talking just because, oh, like this is the answer to that. It's someone coming with facts. And that's one thing I love about Islam, is that it's not just someone making up things or just saying what they think this might mean or this is. It's the fact that everything is logical and makes sense, and there's not a second where you doubt what they're saying and what the religion is. And that's just beautiful. And I hope I didn't talk too much and didn't make sense at some points, but I just wanted to share how grateful I am and how lucky I am to have come to this religion that I love so much right now. And there's so much that we owe to Allah, and inshallah, you know, we're of the lucky ones to go to Jannah. But I think I'm done just blabbing my mouth, and I don't know if I left anything out, honestly, but I'm just extremely thankful, and that's about it. Alright guys, I love you guys.